You've been thrown women's.
Yeah.
Baby, stop that. Baby, stop that.
Okay.
That wasn't professional. No, it wasn't professional. Again, I want to start all over again. Honestly, it's so annoying. Hello.
Hello. We are Global
Global
Relations. My name is Henry.
My name is Christina.
And today we're going to talk about the Tinder Swindler documentary from Netflix.
We've seen it today.
Yeah, today. And mind blowing. Absolutely crazy. So we just thought we'd share our opinion and some of our reactions about the whole thing today.
So a short story. We want to give a short story.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick rundown of what it's about. The main character is Simon Leviev. Simon Leviev, and he's a Jewish guy from Israel. He's pretending to be a billionaire, but we don't know this at the beginning.
Yeah.
He basically meets women on Tinder. I think probably other places as well, but the story base is around Cecile, who he met on Tinder. He pretends to be this billionaire, son of a diamond tycoon guy. Takes them all over the world, Netherlands to Dubai, Paris, Amsterdam, all these different places, spending lots of money on them. But then he gets into some type of trouble, and he's running from enemies.
No, first of all, he's trying to convince them that he's like serious about them, and
that's true,
making
yes,
all their dreams come true, like private jet.
Yeah.
He making people convenience, like he's the prince, you know.
Yeah.
He's billionaire, and it's all real. And
you said a really important point there, because it wasn't just about the money. He was saying stuff that he was really cared about them, and that he loved them, and that they were going to be a family and a couple. He was going to have kids, and like he was saying the guy was going all out. He wasn't trying to.
But it's ended up being his strategy. He had so many women. Well, at least we found 4.
Yeah, we've seen 4.
We think it's a lot more women.
Yeah, this guy was on Tinder for his full-time job. This was his business strategy, and it started at Tinder, and
One off.
Yeah, he started on dating. Let's just say dating sites.
Yeah.
I think they said Tinder Swindler because it rhymed, but he could have been on all of them, and I imagine that he probably was.
What happened next? After months or so dating with them, when he convinced it to them, like he's the one, he's a billionaire, future husband. He start getting in trouble every time, well, every scenario.
Yep.
And he's need help, and who else would you ask help than your closest partner?
That's right.
So we were thinking, how them women's not questioning in their head that why he asking £20,000 or so.
Yeah.
When he got all billions on his account, but then when loved ones call you and say, "Oh, I'm in trouble,"
you don't think about that.
No.
You don't think, oh, well, what about such and such? Can't they help?
What about your dad?
What about your dad? What about your mum? What about you don't think to ask these questions. You're like, this is the person that I love, and I want to help them. And what we also said as well is, although his strategy was to get money out of the women, the action of asking the woman for money actually makes him look better. Because they're like,
yes.
Oh wow, he needs me. I'm the only one. He could have called anybody, but he called me. And I think that was like a really clever part of his strategy, making them feel really, really special. I think it's disgusting what he did, but we have to admit that it was very clever.
He's very smart. He's really good at what he does.
He's very clever at what he did.
So that woman ended up being 185k in debt with this man, and then few more women's. Basically, the amount that came up in
think in total it was over 7 million pounds.
What we know.
That we know of. But I think he had some other scams going on as well.
Of course. And they end up catching this guy.
They end up catching this guy, and he had to do. Well, they caught him twice, haven't they? They caught him once because he was a convicted criminal, and they caught him.
He's actually been in jail.
He's
already.
actually been in jail already.
And he even said that to some women.
Yeah.
At least that Cecilia.
That's right. That's right.
In Africa, he went jail something.
That's right. So he admitted to being in jail for certain things. So watching this documentary, it was interesting to look at this guy's actual strategy. Both me and Babes are into business. So whenever we see anything, we always try to put that business spin on it. And the way this guy had a strategy for getting over $7 million or pounds or whatever. He's in millions, isn't it? Anyway, it doesn't really matter what pounds or dollars.
You got to be smart, I think. Well,
you have to be smart.
So
what was his strategy? Well, they described it as a Ponzi scheme on the documentary. And what a Ponzi scheme is, taking money from one place and then putting it to another and then asking that place for money and then taking it down here. And it's just like a continuous chain.
using women.
And he's using women. So we believe his strategy was going on to Tinder and looking for a particular type of person, a particular type of woman. It needed to be a woman who had probably
some kind of income.
Like, she didn't need to be rich though. And he probably didn't want a rich woman.
No.
He didn't want a rich woman, did he? Because a rich woman would have probably seen through him and wouldn't have been enticed as much by
like
the lifestyle.
Said, maybe he had a rich woman and maybe she never show up and tell him, oh, that's what happened to me, because it's kind of
embarrassing. Yeah.
So
I think he stuck with good credit, because a lot of it, they were taking out loans. They weren't giving him cash from the bank. They were taking out loans and financial agreements to send this guy cash. So then that was part of the first part of the strategies. That was stage one, was finding them.
So he wanna convince them women.
And then stage two was convincing them to trust him.
Spend money on them, private jet,
flowers,
nice massive Instagram bouquets, like everything what you can imagine and see on Instagram.
Hotels, beaches, 5-star hotels.
Them women live their dreams basically.
They were in heaven.
Not for long. Because
it went up and then it came down.
Actually, a tragedy happened.
Yeah, it was.
Because after a certain amount of time, usually like around a month or so, he started getting this trouble that he wants to borrow money.
And this was stage 3 of the strategy. So after he'd convinced them in stage 2, stage 3 was then to show that he was in trouble and that he needed them. And the way that they could help him was by giving him money. Yeah?
Yeah, which them women's quite happy.
They're quite happy to do it. If he's done stage 2 well, then stage 3 is very, very easy. He's convinced them that he's got money, then he's convinced them that he loves them, and then stage 3 is convinced them that he's in danger and that they can help him.
So these women's borrowing all possible loans and credit cards, and then when time to get their monies back, he's like, yeah, don't worry, I got this, babe. I've sent you. They like back and forwards flying between the countries, seeing each other.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, come to. I'm not sure where.
I think Amsterdam was one of the places.
Yeah.
Comes to Amsterdam.
Come to this city town, and I'll give you a check with money that I own you and a lot more probably.
Yeah, I think like there was an extra 40,000 on top of how much she lent him, and he put it on top. But what happened?
It obviously didn't came through.
The cash was fake. The check was fake.
Yes.
The bank wouldn't cash it.
And then one of the women, I think she actually leading all this story, she want to gather all the information and throw it out there, because I can imagine how pissed off she would be.
It's mentioned on the documentary that I think she was driving somewhere, wasn't she? She was driving somewhere, and all these banks were wanting money, and it was just on top of her, and she was stressed. And she mentioned that there was a car coming on the other side of the road, a big truck, and she was just thinking of just swerving into the truck and ending everything. She was thinking about suicide, and she checked herself into a mental institution because she just knew that she was just like, that was it now. She was done. She didn't have no money. She probably embarrassed herself with her friends. She was just down in the dumps.
So she holding a lot on him.
Yeah.
Like she really want to pay him back. And I think once they carry on talking, he was getting so cold.
Yep.
Yeah,
He was so cold.
so it's because obviously he had loads of other women,
Mm-hmm.
and she kind of started working out in her head that something's
Something's
here.
wrong.
There's a story going on.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought in our heads, when police are gonna get involved, because they've been basically quiet until journalists got involved.
Mm.
Journalists got their benefits of it.
Mm-hmm.
They want a story,
Yeah.
but no one really cared. You know, no one. The police not gonna help you. There's something going on online, and all these transfers.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
It's like people want to just pass the problem across. It's like, it's not our problem, talk to the banks. It's not our, and then the banks are like,
Investigation.
the banks do an investigation because it's their money, but nobody really cared about the women. You know what I mean? Even when it got to a point of where they did a sting operation, where they were where they set up Simon, and one of the women was in the car, and they were waiting for them to come out of the hotel, and she was texting what they call now, the camera. She was texting the
Journalist.
She was, thank you.
With a camera.
He was texting the journalist with the camera to say they were ready to come out, but the journalist was so eager to get the story that the guy spotted the cameraman opposite the road.
How insane is that?
That's crazy.
They put him in.
They're putting the woman in danger to get the story. And again, it just shows how selfish these people are. Do you know what I mean?
Then end up they catching him somehow because he found another woman, and his photos already everywhere.
Yep.
On Instagram. I don't know where, but everywhere on internet. So
Yep.
everyone got information. So one of the women who that time with him, 14 months she said they've been together.
Yep.
And she's seen all that information, and she like, whoa, I borrowed already money to him.
Yep.
And they've been dating for 14 months. That's
Yeah.
actually
It's a long time.
surprised me because
Yeah.
he usually works
Quickly.
quickly. Moving on quickly. It's women to women.
Yeah.
But yeah, they end up catching him because all women had
Communication with each other.
not communication, like want to destroy him.
Yeah, they wanted to destroy him at this point.
And girls run the world. No, and then they end up catching him.
Yep.
He was almost homeless, sending her pictures,
This is so
begging
funny.
her, frightening her. If you seen it, you're like, whoa. It's like funny, and
Just
it's
like
kind of happy to see him broke.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, this story ends for him badly.
The part that made me laugh, babe, though, is when he said, I went to a hostel. It's 1 star.
I'm a homeless king. That's what he was saying.
The guy was so obsessed with showing how lavish his lifestyle was, that even when he was like pretending to be homeless, he had to mention that it was only 1 star.
Even though it's no stars.
There's no stars in that hostel. But yeah, he ended up getting caught again, ended up getting convicted of not frauding the women, but of using false documents or something like that. And he ended up getting 15 months.
15 months in jail.
Yeah, but he ended up doing
5
months.
That's when all minds going crazy, like, how the hell? And then next thing what you want to do is go and research his Instagram page. Where is he? What he's doing now? And he's doing fine.
He's
doing
doing
on his
good.
carry on flying country to country on his private jet ski. And he got his own company coaching businessmen, and he got new girlfriend.
So, model from where is she now? I can't remember where she's from.
I think she's his country. Well, I don't know.
Israel. Is she a model from Israel?
She no look like Israeli, but
I don't know.
not really the correct way to say how people look. You know, it depends how they feel.
Of course, of course.
She look not Israeli, but she's
She's
Israeli.
real.
But yeah, and I'm just so surprised. Like this guy makes me angry. At the same time, like inspire. Like wow, his energy, his spirit is like unbreakable. He's been in prison once. We've seen him go in prisons again, to the prison, not prisons. And then he come out and doing better than ever.
Yeah.
Once again. So it's just like it's something in him that not gonna stop him.
Yeah, we one thing that I was quite interested in is we saw where he came from. So in the documentary, you can see they go to his mum's house.
Journalists went to his mum's house
in Israel.
Then they end up catching him, mum coming back home, talking, having quick conversation. Like I don't have nothing to do with him. He changed his name, which is confirmed to journalists.
Yeah,
that
he was the same guy that had been convicted of the crime years before. But when you look at where the journalists went to his home, it was such a difference to the image on Instagram. Yeah, there was no Lamborghinis, there was no champagne where he lived. It was just like dirty streets and just like.
So one side of me very angry at him. He's a monster. He shouldn't play. Money is money, but when you're lying to people about families, like
Emotions.
It's next level, you know.
Yeah.
They're basically almost pushing people to suicidal. I think this is something really, really bad to do. And but this guy, he's just unstoppable. He carry on doing what he's doing. He's volunteered for this life, you know. Nothing gonna stop him.
Yeah, he volunteered for the rich life, and no one can take that from him.
And very interesting to do more research on him and see, because we found interview that it's been on Israeli.
Yeah.
Is it Israeli?
I think so. Yeah, Hebrew, Israeli
language, but we want to translate and know what he's saying
exactly what
about
he's
it,
saying.
because I'm sure he's gonna say like, oh, this is all women's that try and get famous of me or something like that, because I don't think he's gonna commit it. He's
not going to admit to doing wrong. I can't see that. The way that he's pushing ahead, and he doesn't look sorry on his Instagram. He looks like he's having a still lavish lifestyle and still flying in jets and
knowing that over 7 million whatever is money, he's went jail and he come out 5 months later, and them women still broken paying their debts. It's like feels a bit unfair.
Yeah, that's very unfair. I mean, the fact that he went to prison not for defrauding the women, but for something else.
So out of this story outcome, the guy spent 5 months in jail, come out and being successful. But women's now, they're not only paying for debt that they've been spending on this guy, but also receiving loads of hate. Even I seen, like when I start watching, first thought in my head was like, ooh, gold digger same, but everyone got story, everyone got like desire, passion. You can't judge people. Like everyone wanna be Kim Kardashian, it's hard to say, but everyone wanna be like better self, and I don't think anyone should judge them, and especially like all these horrible comments and these wishes that you all deserve it. I think it's a shame and I think it's a broke guys doing it, who's like, they only fall for successful men, like put her on fire and like just jump in crowds. I just think it's so...
It's nasty.
It's nasty and
it's nasty.
So unfair.
It is.
That she paying these debts, she have shame, all this story, facing shame of the story, and then also receiving all these bad comments thrown at her, that she just want to be happy and create family with someone who's successful. Yeah. And now she's being
judged for that.
Bitch, she being all bad words, but when she was just being herself, really, and she said, "Yeah, I liked the pictures I saw. Yeah, she probably wouldn't think she could be part of it, but she had a chance, and she's was so happy at the one point, and then obviously she's still paying for her happiness now. But
Wow.
jumping and saying that them bitches, I think it's so wrong. It just come from not successful people.
Yeah.
Which is, everyone got a story, right? And
That's it.
you should be more
Respectful.
compassion.
Respectful and compassionate.
Yeah, to this.
I mean, you can't jump on people for having a dream, and as much as like our dream is business, right? Our dream is business and family and traveling, and that's was probably her dream too. So being presented,
And most of us.
and most of us want that. So when she's given this dream of a rich guy wanting a family and a good life, why is she a fool?
She
It was
never lied about herself.
She
He's
never-
the one who lied about his own identity.
Yeah.
And then people who's trying to support. I mean, like, it's hard to judge him or support him. Like, I hate and inspired by these guys at the same time. But
Yeah.
throwing shade at women's, like, they're gold diggers, they deserve it all. I think it just shows we're not went far from, like, backwards time, you know, like it's a lot more work needs to be done because it's so much aggression.
Yeah.
Instead of feel compassion, like I just start crying when she start feel emotional tell, and I don't know how can your heart not be touched but start hating him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, we've just watched the video. We didn't even finish the video. The video's maybe it's 28 minutes and 5 seconds long, and it's just this guy, kind of,
he's rewatching this interview and commenting about it.
and he's really just ripping into her, saying she's a gold digger. Of course, it's almost
And
like
it's not only that video. We went to a few comments section, like we start researching them, and everyone basically, most of them saying nasty things, and I think it's not necessarily. If you don't have compassion, just just lock yourself home and don't say it. Like, why would you throw? You make yourself, you throw in anger, you get anger back.
That's
Why
right.
would you throw all this hate? Where you get all this hate? It must be so sad, so many sad people, which I feel compassionate about them. Like, life should be that bad that they want to comment on this girl to be happy, you know, and her heart been breaking, and now you want to put her even more down. Like, what it tells you about you.
It
like,
tells
who
you about
are.
you. It tells you about you, and I think where people go wrong with this story is it's not like a good side and a bad side, right? There's good and bad on both sides.
It's an amazing story.
Yeah, guys, you have to watch it, and like you have to understand that she probably did good things and bad things, and this guy did good things and bad things. You can't just say he's the villain of the story,
You know
because
how many good things he did. He's a smart guy.
he's a very smart guy. He's a very smart guy, and
But
like we've said
not
before,
good for women.
he didn't do anything good for these guys other than, well, how good are they doing now?
What at the moment was his
Yeah.
relationship? Well, we definitely want to research, like I said.
No, I
We-
mean
we-
the girls. How you think Cecile and them? Like
Well,
they've got
this-
interviews and Netflix, and
we have
do you think
to.
they're doing okay?
We have to see how is he doing now.
I'd like to know. I mean, it's not for us to know, but I bet they're doing okay now.
I bet, because as long as there's so many bad people, it's loads of good people and who want to support them and help them. And I'm sure this gonna take over, like, and win. There's no way. So I hope they're good now. They had to learn lesson, having an amazing story to tell.
Yes, they do.
Even though it's bad ending, but oh well.
It's not so bad though. It's not so. I think they've got a good ending. I know that there's deaths.
Yeah.
But they've found people. Imagine she was ready to kill herself. She was ready to crash into a car and kill herself, and now at the end of it, she's found. And I bet there was a lot of humiliation and shame while she was going through that experience. But I imagine now that she's found other women who were part of that kind of.
And it's only one story like that, but it's loads of more stories. And other women probably do the same, but there's loads of more stories like this. So,
Yeah.
and when someone's sharing their pain and all you do is put in shades on them.
Yeah, it's not necessary. It's not necessary.
Because it took her a lot to take all these photos, all this personal information to just public to everybody.
That's what she did. I was just shocked with that.
Yeah, and she did it. She like, I'm going all the way in. She was looking for support and
Yeah.
like she just wanted money back, whatever. She was ready to be calling gold digger because of these people that are around hating women's. But it's ended good.
Ended good. I think everybody got what they needed to get from this experience. I think the women got what they needed. In a long drawn out way. They wanted an experience. They got an experience. He, I think the guy wanted some money and he got some money.
I don't think they wanted experience, first of all. I think they wanted family and babies with him.
All right then, okay.
Oh my God, they wanted experience. They received it. Not 165k experience, baby. If they knew that's how much it's gonna cost them, they'd rather buy a plane, jet ski plane for them.
It's true. It's true. They could have bought private jet in it.
Yeah, maybe not bought it for this amount of money. I don't know how much.
Maybe rent it for a couple of days a year. We don't know.
Yeah. She wanted experience. No.
But as well, it's just goes to show that this Simon Leviev, as much as he's a bad person, he has a certain mindset that I think we have to investigate.
There's something about him.
There's something about
keep
him.
him going.
Yeah. What makes Simon Leviev tick? I'm very interested. So Simon Leviev, if you're out there and you fancy doing an interview with an unknown YouTube channel, get in touch with Global Relations. We're ready to speak to you.
Baby, what are you fucking talking about?
Oh, Simon Leviev, innit? Let's speak to this guy. Innit?
It's like we're telling ourselves.
We're not
Call us gold digger next.
No, I'm not. I'm interested in how he did his thing.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's he's a clever guy. Immoral. Let's be clear. He's very immoral. But then again, we were saying earlier, like, how many businesses these days are immoral?
But I think the story not ends here. So
No.
we're still gonna do some researches. And who knows what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
So his next girlfriend.
That's it. Yeah, he's got a new girlfriend.
Gonna see new stories again.
Simon Leviev, the Tinder Swindler Part 2.
Yeah. So.
Right, guys.
Thanks for watching.
1 second.
Don't forget to subscribe.
1 second. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
Do it again.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, 1, 2. Thanks for watching. Don't
Please
forget
subscribe.
to live. Are we saying? What are we saying? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Right.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.
Why I did this?
I don't know. You look cool though. We done now, innit?
Yeah.
Okay.